Behind every remarkable front stage performance is a team of ordinary people combining their talents to create extraordinary results. Join us as we go behind the curtain of selling homes and helping agents build better businesses to discuss the ideas, the principles, and the strategies that empower our Century 21 support team to maximize their potential and thrive in their unique abilities. Welcome to the Backstage. Wow, guys, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Dylan here, joined by
Abbie, Anna,
And Vic.
and this is our staff podcast. We recorded a quarter ago,
it's
Just about.
but I suppose that's the new goal.
Yeah.
About a quarter after our,
staff meetings.
which we just got done with,
Yep, a week
and
ago.
had a great time with everyone. And so, as a reminder, if you're an agent and you're listening, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you are sneaking behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think a lot of our agents do listen to these staff ones and
yeah.
gain some insights, if nothing else, maybe about how crazy we are and what we're up to.
Yeah.
So,
Hey guys.
if you're part of our team, we are continuing our conversation that we started at our quarterly staff meeting about empowerment and initiative.
Yeah.
And we're excited just to pick up the ball where we left off, I guess, and see if we can dig a little bit deeper into the idea. So, Vic, this is technically your baby.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting at the controls here because I
You
don't.
do such a good job.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm out of practice. We have not
I
been in the
know.
podcast studio much lately.
No.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back.
It is good.
And I
to be here.
think our staff is ready for us to be back too. Mm-hmm. It's been a missing piece.
Okay, well, let me see if I can get us caught up. A quarter ago, we jumped into, I guess it's not a new topic, but we dived.
Yes.
I'm not-
Asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
Yes.
Abby, you're the writer.
Abby is the grammar
They both work,
queen.
you know.
They both work.
Yes.
We
Nailed it.
we dove head first into just the idea of, I suppose it was both about how to own the outcome, but we entitled it empowerment.
Yes.
And we spent a bunch of time talking through the 7, I think we called them 7 ingredients
Yep.
Yes.
to be able to own the outcome. You got to know the goal. Otherwise, how do you take it? How do you
Right.
How do you go?
march?
How do you-
You got to have trust for your team. Your team's also got to trust you. You got to have permission to be able to step in and take initiative. You've got to have the expectation, meaning, I think we talked about those as 2 degrees of this. One is, hey, you can do this. The other is, guys, we really need you to do this. You got to have resources, which I think we defined as time, but also sometimes physical resources, money or whatever,
Yes.
to be able to step in and own the outcome.
Yep.
Know-how, and then finally care.
Yeah.
But just to back up one more time, what was the problem we were trying to solve for in discussing empowerment and owning the outcome?
Yeah. Backing up a little bit, we noticed in the beginning of the year that we didn't have clarity on everybody's roles, right? So we spend a lot of time writing out job descriptions, and this is your areas, and this is how you measure success. But this was really more about, okay, so now you know how to measure success. What else is missing in you completely owning your space and owning your roles? And that's where these 7 came up. There's more than just knowing the goal. There's more things that falls under that. And so I think we were missing a little bit of a sense of ownership, but really to our own fault.
What does it
because we
mean?
haven't provided.
What do you mean when you say missing a sense of ownership?
It seemed like our staff was still waiting for someone to show up and show them how to do things or tell them to do things instead of coming proactively and asking even.
Or just doing.
Or just doing.
Having intrinsic motivation
Yes.
to just go try.
Yes.
And know that it's safe.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was really on us.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't had a full-on conversation of what that looked like. And I think that was where the permission and expectations were a big thing.
Yeah.
That you actually do have permission, and also we expect you to.
If we haven't been clear about what we're trying to get done,
Right.
we haven't told you that we want you to grab the wheel and
Right.
sometimes color outside the lines.
And that
Yeah.
you won't be in trouble for it. Yeah.
Yes.
I was just thinking as you were talking about, we were first trying to define the roles, and now we're at the point where we're at this next step of that conversation, which is own the outcome. That actually kind of blurs the lines of roles. And so we're almost first trying to get them to understand the concept of the role, but then actually asking them to expand their thinking about a role, as that it isn't always black and white. Your role is constantly evolving and sometimes stretches into spaces that you don't actually think are your own. But that's part of taking ownership and owning the outcome is not trying to stay within the line.
It's the same idea as knowing the rules before you break them, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to know where to start. Because we actually started with engagement at the beginning of the year and like how to measure and how to move forward. And now it's even deeper than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blurring the lines. I mean, it's. I think of the janitor in NASA saying, "What's your
What do you do
job?
here?"
I'm helping to put a man on the moon by the end of the year or decade and bring him back safely."
Yep.
That blurs the line because to some extent we're saying first you got to know what you do and what your and why what you do matters.
Yes.
Which we spent a lot of time on the last couple of years.
Who do you impact?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then also if we're collectively a part of this bigger mission and we're trying to get something done, which is help agents build better businesses and sell more better, sometimes that means stepping outside of just the parameters of your role to get something done that isn't on the checklist or isn't how we typically do things,
Yep.
which is what you mean by
That's what I mean. Yeah.
it's like the black and white in you wants the clarity of here's the role, and this adds to that a nuance of but also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So my first question before we get into the idea of taking initiative is I want to ask how you think we've done since last quarter. Where have you seen improvement? And maybe a way to think of the question is where out of those 7 are we doing well and where do we need more work? And when I say we,
Everybody.
I mean, staff wide, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's for me, it's given me language because now I can be specific and say, I need you to X, Y, Z, and I'm giving you this. Like I'm giving you permission. This is my expectation and I need you to do, like, it's given me very specific language rather than just saying, I don't know, I just need you to figure it out. Because that's not helpful.
Yeah.
And I've also seen it within us as a leadership team. Like we have, because you can't expect it of others if we're not doing it too. So it's come up a lot in our leadership group is holding each other accountable and like using some of those phrases to say, hey, you gotta go. Yeah.
I think we stirred up the conversation. So I think we have a lot to do still in this space. But since we first rolled out these 7 ingredients, the conversation started. We've got language put to it. I've even experienced some of our team members coming to me and saying, "Is this an example of the expectation or something?" Like they'll use an example and almost jokingly say it, but I'm like, but
actually,
rock on. This is exactly it. As much as we're making some fun out of it, it is exactly what we intend.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
Well, and I think it was all things that were happening and existed, but it's different than to sit down and have the conversation. I think a lot of our staff members sort of knew they had permission, but to stand up and say permission granted is different. What I've seen a lot and what I've done myself too is when I'm in a meeting and it starts getting a little bit blurry, maybe I'll stop and say, okay, back up. We're meeting here because the ideal outcome of what we're trying to do is. So like I've heard that language, wow, that was a hard word, from others too. Like if you know where you're trying to go, then it's easier to own the outcome. And so I feel like that's a place that we're doing really well. You also asked maybe where we weren't doing so well.
Yeah, where's the work to be done still?
Yeah. Yep. We had some very honest conversations about trust. And I don't think it's because people we trust each other as people, but we have a lot of Enneagram 1s and 5s and 3s. And we like our spaces. So it takes a different level of trust to let someone in to help, for example. I joined our transaction team meeting. The TCs is a good example of they all sort of trust each other as a team, but to let each other into each other's emails and let them process loops and files was a whole other level. So that was a really interesting conversation, I thought. Like, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, and even on that level, talking about trust, I see that as well in learning more and more how important it is in order to build trust, sometimes it just takes getting them physically together. You can't build the same level of trust over constant Zoom calls as you can as being next to person and realizing this is another human being that also has wants and needs. And so I know I've been intentional about making sure we keep, on the transaction side, we keep doing our in-person meetings twice a year, and we prioritize that, and we shut down our offices and so forth. And I know our brokers have now integrated some in-person meetings. And so, yeah, there's definitely, we're finding out how to help our people continue to build that trust because it doesn't come natural.
Time together is important.
Yeah.
Our geography has always been and continues to be one of our biggest weaknesses.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think of it like a SWOT, on a SWOT analysis that we're spread around the state. Really impacts us.
Yeah.
Okay, is there others that you would say, like, what's next on empowerment? And then let's move on. But like, what you can't work on this for a quarter.
No.
So I feel like we gained a lot of clarity on, wait, there is a set of ingredients that we need to ensure we're providing to everyone, and we're creating a language for, and now there's clarity, and I love that. The ongoing work here on empowerment, what does that look like? What's next, or what else needs to be done?
It might be different for everyone, but in my role, it is a resource, I think, in growing our people. And so especially when we onboard new people, this is now something that just comes up in our language and who we are.
This notion is a resource.
It's
a teaching resource that you can inject in early on.
In growing our people,
Okay.
yep.
You actually spend time with new employees and put them through some of these things. Are you saying this is one of those things?
Yes, this is something I'll do now. Yep.
Well, and I think just a realization that like anything that is development or mental, you are not always, like, these things go up and down, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's because of your mindset. Maybe that's because your role changes and all of a sudden your know-how has to change too, or whatever it is. Some days you might mentally understand I have permission and expectation, but you might be having a bad week and just need to be reminded of that. Like, you're not going to be always 100% on all 7 and maybe just need to be re-reminded or brought back into it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fun to be honest about when we were trying to go backwards here. It's a quarter and a half, 2 quarters ago, and we're as a leadership team meeting and talking about how we really need to work on people owning the outcome. And maybe the stated problem was we've got team members that are doing the task, but the way they did it followed the checklist.
But disconnected from what we were getting to.
The checklist didn't work, and what we need to get done didn't get done. And there was a mindset of, but I did the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
We said, the thing is the bare minimum. We need
a
little bit more.
Some of it's bare minimum thinking, but some of it's that's maybe a little too, I was going to say cynical, in the sense that if we haven't created clear goals, trust, permission, expectation, resources, know-how, and care, then it's not just that they're bare minimum. It's that there's not a space where they've been empowered to do more than the job description.
Right.
To take it to the outcome and to finish the goal. And as we were talking that through as a leadership team, I think we had a very honest moment where we realized a lot of that was going on inside of our little leadership team.
Yes.
And there was very many examples where we were just doing our things respectively.
Yes.
But we weren't doing it in a way that we were getting the outcome that we know we need to get. Right. So what I love about this is really is a top-down initiative. I know that we as a collective have made a lot of progress just between ourselves on saying, look, there is no one else that can see this to the end. And so I don't want to necessarily have to do this, but if it is to be, it's up to me, and then grab the bull by the horns and get it done. So I love that that's happening organically there. I love that, like you're saying, there's a language for this now trickling through. I guess I'm just saying to everyone on the team, we've got years and years of work to do to continue to do our part to empower you to be able to do more than just the tasks.
Yeah.
And to know that you have the permission and the expectation and the trust to just color outside the lines is it's not the only way to think of it, but
to take the inputs and to make a decision based on those inputs. Don't just go off of the black and white checklist. It's okay to manipulate the data you're getting off of the situation and make a decision.
Make an audible.
Yes, an audible. That's a good example. Yeah.
Do you say make an audible?
Or
is that how
call an audible?
Thank you.
I don't know. Is it football?
I will say too that something that's not on here is it has created a level of accountability that I absolutely love. with team members and being able to call each other out. And maybe this also goes back to our leadership team conversation, but knowing these things, we're all on the same page. We all know the goal. We know what we're trying to accomplish. Now we can hold each other accountable for our parts of that as well. So,
okay. So we've got more work to do. Our topic today is going from empowerment to initiative.
Yes.
I'm going to do a shout out real quick. So, let me start. Let me start with initiative. So real quick, what's the distinction between empowerment and initiative? If our bigger goal is to empower our team members to own the outcome, then why, Vic, I'll put you on the spot. Why did we say, hey, the next topic that we need to talk about isn't just empowerment, it's the notion of initiative? What was the defining distinction?
Yeah, I thought we were doing an amazing job of knowing that all the things are there, knowing the goal, knowing we have permission, but now let's go. Like, let's actually do the things. That was the initiative part of it for me, was we've given you all the resources, now go do.
So I was thinking, I mean, up until this point, we've talked about what we can be doing as people that are influencing within our company. And it has been a whole lot of one way, that direction, and giving these ideas. And we can say till we're blue in the face, but the next step now, where we're talking about taking initiative, actually comes from the other side, where whoever it is we're trying to help continue to grow in their journey, they actually have to turn that switch on. They have to make that decision. And that's what I differentiate. That's the initiative, and that's a decision they make that we can't do. That's not an empowerment. That is truly a personal decision for that person, and it's different.
Well, that's they, but
Everyone.
Everyone. Well, I'm just going to get direct. I mean, that they was you.
Yeah, 100%. There's still
as
examples.
It relates to even the transaction support goals that we have right now. In the last, 3 or 4 months, I think you chose to go through I need to take initiative on this.
And actually, that's a good example where I actually defined my role differently. And until we started to talk about ownership, I was like, I got to stay in my box.
Yeah.
I think we've boxed this up, and this should be handled in a different role. And it was only when we opened up and blurred the lines, like I talked about, that it was more of a sense of ownership of it. And I was like, okay, I get this now. And this is why this actually is within my realm. And not everything I do is going to perfectly fill that box. And in order to make the outcome come to what I have to now choose to be okay operating outside of my black and white world. And that is initiative for me.
So let's do the shout out for Stacy, who wins the definition award, because I hadn't thought of it the way she thought of it. But what did she say? If empowerment and
Empowerment flows down.
Top down.
it's a top down, it's from leadership. We have to be empowered by you.
Yep.
An initiative is the bottom up.
Yeah.
Response to that, which is, this is the part we need to do.
Yeah.
And the only point I'm making, one, is well done, Stacy. But two, that's true everywhere. That's true from me to you to the newest team member that we have.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into initiative super quick. I just want to cover the 5 that we covered, and then I've just got one question on each of them, and then maybe you guys can help me. Just the goal here is to create a little bit more clarity and depth into these 5 steps. So the way we defined initiative, well, I guess we didn't define it. Would you define it for me? Initiative is just in simple language.
Proactive action is what I think of it as.
I think of it's listed here, so I won't say it. Like, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. That is what I think about with initiative.
But I think of that more as ownership
That's a mindset.
mindset.
Yeah.
Initiative is I suppose it falls under that, but it's the taking action part,
Yes.
choosing to
Yes.
act.
That's
You
what I
have
was
to
saying.
go.
That's a good
You
way to put
switch
it.
that to the on switch. That's what I was trying to say. It's not, you can hear till all day long. It's a decision, and it takes an internal.
It's an
switch.
action.
Yes,
It's an action. Yep.
And I sound like a stuck record, but we're granting that until you know the goal, have a context of trust, have given permission, expectation, have the resources to do it. Because if you're so drowning that you don't have the space to do anything, you know how to do this, so you've been well trained, and you actually give a rip. Initiative just doesn't. That is the foundation on which initiative can sit, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we came up with 5. What did you say initiative was then? Just make
Proactive action.
proactive action.
Yeah.
So the 5 that we listed were, we really mapped this as a path. Mm-hmm. It wasn't intentional. It just emerged that way. But there is a path. And so can I say path?
Yes,
Thank you.
To our star.
I've noticed I'm doing that more and more. I'm so
reverting to your
It's our influences.
Don't
Native
do
language.
it. Don't
no,
do
I'm
it.
not reverting. I'm becoming a freaking yank.
American.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Thank you, Vic,
Stay strong.
for the encouragement. I need more South African friends is the problem.
Yeah.
So it begins with, if it is to be, it's up to me,
Yes.
which is choosing to take ownership. It's recognizing that there's no cavalry. It's recognizing that no one else is coming to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
That,
It's choosing to be the grown up in the room sometimes.
Wow.
Like it's not your manager's job to take care of you every single day in that way. Like at some point you just have to grow up and do it, right? Meant very kindly, right?
Yes.
Like you and I have had plenty of conversations like that. You at some point you get to be the adult.
Yeah.
moving to the next step, which is ask why. And I'd like a little bit of clarity on this one, because asking why could mean several things. I mean, I read the poem about the what
cow
was it?
path?
The cow path.
Cow paw.
Kapath.
The cow path.
Yes.
I think it's Frost. If you're listening and you didn't get the poem, maybe we should share the poem.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
Bonus track at the end of this.
But the why was to question why something's done a certain way.
Yes.
So that instead of just following the checklist, we go, okay, if it is to be, it's up to me. Now, why, first of all, why do we do it this way? And then second of all, why are we doing this? Like, what is the goal that we're trying to achieve? That's the two sides to ask why. Is there more to be said on that?
It's curiosity, I think, and it's connected to care.
Yeah,
and
care
it's
is what-
connected to deepening your understanding, I think. Curiosity is healthy. You should wonder why you're doing things, right? Rather than just being a rote
Yeah.
task
Rote.
operator.
That's a good one.
Rote.
Yeah,
So
I
if-
think, especially the care part, because with this, for some reason, I think about everybody walking by the coffee stain. And that's the, why did no one stop and ask why? Like, why are we all just assuming it should be there? So there's a lot of care in asking why and stopping in your tracks and taking the time to ask why.
Well, and sometimes I wonder if it's just an Iowa nice thing. Like, I don't want to ask why because I don't want them to think that I'm questioning them or being defiant or, well, why are we doing this? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that is not the intent of asking why, right? It's to deepen
and
understanding.
You may ask why actually, or you just might in your head go, okay, I just want to make sure. I believe it's up to me to make a difference here. I've been given empowerment. I know that I'm supposed to own the outcome. It's me. I've got to do this. Now, what am I looking at and why is it the way it is?
Yeah.
And curiosity is a great way to think about it, because why is a big word, but what we're doing is saying, what's actually going on here?
Yeah.
And where are we trying to go?
Yeah.
And if I'm going to step into the space and take the initiative, then I need to understand deeper than the what. I need to get to the what's actually going on underneath the hood.
Yes.
Do you know who did this the other day? And it surprised me, not in a bad way, in a great way. Ashton, when he was building his CRM and you were like, okay, work with Abbie and whatever. And he turned to me and I thought he was just going to ask, like, how do I log into whatever. He's like, well, so what's the goal? What do you actually want this to do? What is the outcome he literally said the word outcome. I was like, well, first of all, you're Dylan's kid. This is not surprising. But I was shocked because I was like, I don't think very many people have ever asked that in a project. Like, well, what are we trying to achieve? They just go, okay, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was cool. It was a cool moment.
I make good kids. Jen helped.
She played a part.
I want to use the example we always use, and I sincerely apologize to our ASC team, but the proverbial metaphor for this is always the loop without the signature.
Yes.
So, if it is to be, it's up to me. I'm here. I want to help this agent. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to fix this problem. I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, how do we get this file to where it needs to be?
Yeah.
Why do we need that signature?
Yes.
And what are we trying to protect from?
Yes.
And why is it important? And why did they miss the signature?
Yes.
Like, why don't they have it?
And why do they keep on missing it?
Very good. And if we can go at that level, then sometimes what that does is it clarifies that, wait, I don't need to hold up this file because the thing that we're trying to protect from, this isn't hurting that thing.
No.
Right.
No.
Other times it illuminates that we absolutely need to hold up the file.
Yes.
But why gets us out of do the thing
Yes.
And it gets into what's actually going on here and how can I help? How can I be a part of the solution?
So an example of the opposite of asking why would be responding to a situation and saying, well, I was trained this way.
It's on my checklist.
Or my checklist told me to do this and I was trained this way. And I think that is like, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard when I hear that. Cause I'm like,
well, imagine what it sounds like to an agent that's trying to pay the bills.
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking through that as just being like,
it's always been this way.
It's always been this way. Yeah.
I think why illuminates the nuances, right? It illuminates like the gray areas.
Yep.
But I can tell you that just like you, Anna, those statements are the quickest way to piss me off.
Get my blood boiling.
Because as an entrepreneur, that's not, I don't care how it's been done. I don't care that it was written that way. Because what if it was written wrong, silly?
Yeah.
Like lots of things, if that's the thinking we applied to everything in life, we'd all still be sitting in caves.
Yes.
Exactly. We would never be able to rise above anything.
Too far, Abbie?
No, that's funny. I was can't light a fire. We have never done it that way.
But I do think we have to be careful a little bit, and it's easy. We've all been here for a while.
That's
right?
true.
And
There's confidence
we
that
have
comes.
learned to ask why and receive the answer. Well, that's a good question, actually. It is this way because that's how we set it up when we started Dot Loop.
Yeah.
So I sometimes also think it's the adults in the room conversation with, there's a lot of people that just assume we have it all figured out. That is why it is this way, so why would I even ask? Obviously, this is the best way.
And there's a belligerence to questioning everything.
Yes.
So the polite Midwestern thing is to do your job as you were told.
Be quiet.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so guys, if you need permission, we're giving it to you.
Yes.
It's better that you and your respective spaces spread across the freaking state where we can't get to you, knowing things that we can't possibly see or be close to.
Yeah.
It's better for you to annoy us and go, wait, I just need to understand why we're doing it this way, because it looks like it's just creating more problems than it's helping.
Yeah.
That's the permission, and you've got to have enough trust to be.
I've never been annoyed by somebody asking why.
No.
Yeah.
It's never,
I haven't
no
either.
matter how busy or whatever it is, like it's always a good moment for you to even pause and go, did I give you the right info? Did I? Yeah.
Okay, so one, if it is to be, it's up to me. That's a mindset. That's a decision. There's no cavalry. I am the solution. Number two, ask why. Look under the hood. Understand what's going on. Number three, what if? What if is, well, what's what if?
Wonder and innovation.
You're asking
the
the
word
wrong room.
Daydreaming.
This is more curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if there were flying cars? What if we went and lived on Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to come by.
I think it's letting yourself think about, well, what if we were to change something? What would that look like? How would we go about it? What would that do to create some efficiencies to our process? How many seconds can we shave off of every little thing? Like, I don't know. That's how my brain goes when I think about asking why. Is I'm always trying to work for more efficiency and the best use of my time to be, to be spent on the things that.
I think I see this a lot in
suppose
people
use.
who have a low systems number in Colby, because I have a low systems number. Because you're looking for the best way to get there. You're not looking for the system. I don't care what steps 1 through 10 are if there's a better way to get there.
Yeah.
You naturally have a lens for, is this the best way? Could there be a different? Has anybody ever considered doing da-da-da-da-da?
Interesting. Yeah. So a high follow through could create inclination to just be.
It's your normal, that's just, that's your MO, right? Is to follow
the process.
or to build the process.
Maybe. I think super high follow through tends to build new processes. Middle follow through tends to obey the existing process.
Yeah. Execute.
And then low just does whatever the hell they want.
5.
3.
But the examples you guys tended to give there, or where I heard that going, was higher level what if, like strategic. What can we change to the process? I don't think it has to be that big. It's it's more like, wait, like there's another way to do this. What are the other options of how to get this done?
Yeah.
We can't ask that question unless we know where we're trying to go with this thing. So that's back to why, like what's actually going on here.
Yeah.
What if just means consider alternative options?
Yeah.
It's a degree of curiosity.
It's a deeper curiosity. It's like curiosity hitting the road, right?
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's a solutions-oriented curiosity. What are the other ways that I could go about solving the core problem to get to where it is we're trying to go?
To get there.
So I
That's what I
actually
was
think people are afraid to ask why if they can't answer what if, because there's so many people that are like, well, I don't want to bring up an issue if I can't also suggest
A solution.
a solution. And that's great to try to come up with a solution. Sometimes you can't. So I think they're kind of tied
Sometimes
together,
we just
right?
need someone to point out the problem.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
think-
think talk to somebody else about it.
This is the hardest one for me. Like I struggle to think outside of the bounds. And so when I need ideas, I'm actually just problem solving as we go here. I'm like, what can I do to help myself think what if I don't naturally think what if? Like, what does one do? I know for me, I can go bounce things off of people and restate what exists, but I have to almost explicitly say, I need help thinking through what we could do, what else we could try
Can
here.
I help with that?
Yeah.
Delete everything you know about how it needs to be done. Take all of your vision and put it on the outcome. So because you're stuck in the process because you're black and white.
Yes.
Imagine nothing exists in a process right now. Look at the outcome and just ask yourself, if no one else existed in the world, what would I do to get this to that finish line? What would I do to move it forward?
Yeah.
And maybe that's too extreme, but where we get stuck, sometimes it's a lot easier to build something from scratch than it is to have to modify something that already exists.
Actually,
So
yeah.
The problem is you're trying to tweak an existing process.
Yeah.
And that stifle.
The box just doesn't
Stifle.
work. You're pretty
Stifle.
good at reminding, like, because my context is high. I think your context is high at like that. Mean like looking
is
back
what
at what we've done
Yep.
and figuring out how to modify it. And very often you'll be like, okay, just pretend you don't know anything about this. Like, just start fresh. And sometimes that's really hard to do, but it can be more helpful than trying to make things work in the box that you're stuck in, right?
I just think that's where you have to lean on the people that can naturally think that way more easily than us.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard for me to break what
you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do think that is where, like, back to ideal outcome, owning the outcome. Like, if we can state the goal, then what if thinking actually gets easier? I'm very boxy stock as well, right? But it does help, like, being able to articulate, what are we trying to do? How do we want others to feel? And then get there.
You can see it when there's a dreamer in the, like, poor Travis will just
Yes.
throw out all these ideas and you can see everybody's faces go, that's not how we've done it. And it's so good to have somebody challenge that, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, and let's call a spade a spade. Our leadership team is distinctly not wonder and inventor, right?
Yes.
So we need to do widget as a collective, by the way.
Yes.
We need
Yes.
to teach widget to everyone, but we're not WI.
No.
But our whole staff is like that as well. We
Yes.
tend to attract a lot of really strong administrators, very relational and very, what's the purple? Very
Executors.
execution.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not a lot of dreamers in our room.
Right.
Nope.
So the danger as a company is that we stifle your ability to ask what if, and we don't train or inject what if.
Thinking.
Yeah. We're just
Encouragement.
regurgitating what we've always had. Yeah.
Okay, so take initiative. If it is to be, it's up to me. Ask why, what if, and then the next one is break the rules. And I changed the order from the staff meeting intentionally because I think first we've got to be willing to look at coloring outside the lines before we can talk about the final one, which is make it so, which is really just take action, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about break the rules real quick. What are we meaning?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of back to, I hate to pick on our transaction team, but that's where I started. There's just so many processes and checklists and things on there that it's actually not always needed. And so an example of break the rule wisely, I think, Anna, you mentioned pest inspections are on there. We're going to keep on asking agents, but there might be time to time where we can make some exceptions. Maybe that's too practical of an example,
No,
but that's just
it's
what
perfect.
comes to mind.
Actually, those Ankeny agents that were in the team meeting this week, that an agent actually turned around and said, Anna, why do we need the pest inspection? And it was a really fun opportunity for her to say, well, here's why. It's, and it was just a really cool opportunity. And I loved that it gave me an opportunity to explain to everybody. I loved that agent was even not just following the rules. They were like, I need to have a better understanding of why I need to be asking for this. Like, good on them.
I think one of the things we deal with is we're building a machine. And to do that, E-Myth Revisited is people run the systems run the business, so you got to build systems.
Yep.
So we're doing the right thing. We're building systems. But as you build all these systems, all of a sudden, some of your systems, you drop them into a different marketplace, for example.
Yes.
But things work differently there.
Oh,
Yes.
Or the industry changes and all of a sudden buyer's agency contracts are mandatory. And all of a sudden the system we built now really doesn't work. And so, breaking the rules to me can mean, first of all, we created the rules in order to create the outcome. Two levels of this. One, sometimes the rule that we've got, there's a a variety of situation such that the rules actually get in the way of the outcome.
Yes.
When that's the case, be smart. So break the rules wisely. One, cover your ass by let somebody know, or double check or confirm. Or if you absolutely need to, take initiative and then make sure you send an email up the flagpole that says, hey, if I screwed this up, sorry, but here's what I did to make sure that our agent got what they needed.
Yes.
And when you take all those steps, if you do it wisely, if you double check it, if you let us know, there's going to be nothing but grace if it turns out that you burn the building down.
Exactly.
Right. Just go outside.
The first time.
After that.
But I will also say, like, know the rules so that you can break them.
Yeah.
Like, we made a lot of the rules. No, they're super practical.
We made almost all the rules.
Yeah.
But we have deadlines, right, for when things need submitted. But if you understand that that's because then you turn around to accounting and they had a banking file that needs submitted by a certain time for everyone to get paid the next day. It's not just because we don't want to pay an agent that they have to submit a file by a certain time.
It's being
like
flexible, it's being
the
adaptable, and it's using good judgment, right? Discernment to say, hey, you have a brain. Think about your task right now.
Yeah.
Should you be doing something different? You don't have to ask permission to do that. Just use your best judgment.
Yeah. Out of that, I think the second level of breaking the rules, which isn't about like violate the rule that exists, it means take the rules and let's break them and build new ones.
Yes.
So as we do this, especially when we've got eyes and ears on the ground all around the state in different contexts, when you ask why and reveal a broken rule, then we get to break the system and rebuild it better.
It's because we're weird. Everybody here has come from workplaces where you are just not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to ask why. You're not allowed to ask what if. You are slapped on the wrist if you try to do too much, right? So it's a trained thinking that we all have to shed when we get here. And like, I don't remember how many times when I first got here hearing, well, we make things up. We can do what we want. And after a while I was like, wait a minute, we're making it all up. We can do what we want. Like
in certain spaces.
But largely, I mean.
Yeah, but we don't have a problem, Vic. I mean, I appreciate what you're saying is, wait, there are parameters.
Well, sure.
HR
Don't break the law.
The rules.
But we don't have we've got a bunch of vigilantes burning down buildings problem in this company. No. Our problem is the opposite. It's that we've created a good set of systems and structures, and sometimes we find ourselves constrained by staying in the lines too much.
Well, and sometimes you put everything together in one big messy pile, and it's good to step back, separate, and say, okay, I'm thinking of a very specific example I'm dealing with one of our staff members. She's dealing with a closing situation, which closings does have legal implications. Yep. There are laws to abide by. And in our conversation, even this morning, we talked through, I had to separate what was absolutely non-negotiable. That had to happen because of the closing parameters and the banking regulations. But I said, there's this other situation that is in our control. So let's think about what we can do there. So just separating all of the things in a messy situation to itemize what can actually be broken or maybe be questioned versus what really can't. And there's very few things. Like you're saying, most of the rules can be questioned, but there are certain things in what we do with lawyers and so forth that we do have to stay in those parameters. So being able to separate those so your conversations are pure based on
there are no rules of marketing. We don't think about that. No.
Well, but I mean, I'm in HR, right? Lots of rules. But Dylan has challenged me a lot and said, so why is that? Why are we doing it that way?
Yeah. It's our staff policy. We can change it if we want to.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the curse of being the curse and the blessing of being in an entrepreneurially centered work environment.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, you said work environments, Abbie. It's not just work environments. I think it's our school system.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
think the world trains people to stay within the bounds.
We're not teaching people to think creatively about how to build solutions. We're teaching them how to answer questions that they memorized from a textbook.
And follow directions. Like, that's it. Yeah.
And follow directions, which is really just a follow-on from an industrial era 60, 70 years ago that's just dead. But yes, we're hardwired to be cautious about this. And again, it's what's the word? It's a scale, a spectrum.
Yes.
You obviously can't go too far the other direction.
Right.
I don't think we're in danger of that.
No,
We have
we're
so
not.
many 1s and 5s and
We're not, and I think everybody understands that. So, I mean, if you're hearing anything, it's we want you to take initiative. We need you to do that in a way where you first think through what's going on under the hood. Then you explore solutions. Be smart. Let people know if you're doing something slightly different, because probably we need to know.
Yeah.
But when appropriate, Break the rules, meaning either do what needs to be done to get it done, and then let's talk through how we fix it.
Yeah.
Baseline example is Friday afternoon, a listing needs to be turned in and there's a piece of paper missing. But is it a legal piece of paper or is it one of our parameters that we have to hold our agents accountable to not be sloppy?
Yeah.
Because there's a big distinction between those two things.
Yeah.
And if they're going to get in legal trouble, then us building a brick wall is smart for the agent.
Yes.
But if we're just holding up the sale, then we're just dumb.
Yeah.
And knowing the difference between those starts with curiosity and starting to actually learn why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Break the rules wisely. And then finally, it's make it so. So what needs to be said about this other than
Do it.
take action? Just do it.
They're doing is it Shia LaBeouf action?
Do it. I'll link it in the show notes.
Okay, so we just made this up.
Yeah.
We made up the 7 as well. And I guess this is the whole theme today is we're just making things
We
up.
make it up.
Literally.
But I think that we're onto something here. I think there are ingredients that we need to provide. And then I think we need to create enough context within our team that more and more and more individuals are willing to step in, step up, and find solutions and make it better. And that's what's starting to happen. That's maybe magic in our
It's
company.
contagious when you start to see it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, and sorry.
No,
It's
go
also just empowering our staff, right? Oh, that is the overall. So empowering them to own the outcome and empowering them to take initiative. We started by empowering them to know their roles and how to measure success. So we just want to empower everyone to be able to own their space, own their growth, and they're part of the machine and making the place better.
There's a sentence at the bottom here that really stuck out to me. When empowered people take initiative, things improve faster than they break. Obviously, marketing is a little different, but I don't know how many times I've said there's actually not a whole lot that you can really break. And if you break it, we will fix it.
Yeah.
It's fine. You're like, the website won't collapse. The building won't burn down. Things it's a form of reassurance, right? Like even if things break, we'll fix them, but more often than not, they'll actually improve. And
You'd be surprised how that
expand.
lowers everybody's defenses when you can tell them, hey, just a reminder.
you can't actually break this that
you
much.
can't break it. And I love
Yeah.
saying that with dot loop because I can truly show them you can't actually break it.
You're not going to delete the whole thing.
You're
Yeah.
not. But it does seem to all of a sudden it's like you can physically see their shoulders just relax a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Caleb, Brooke, if you're listening, you can break the trust account.
Yeah, it's different. Things are different. There's always an exception.
Don't worry, they're
But I think they know that.
they
They're very safe
so that
people.
they will not.
Yeah.
They are not people that will.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah.
So I realized I just ran through those 5 without even asking the questions that I asked it. But the typical us.
Probably got there though.
I think we got the gist of it.
Yeah.
So let's just close this out a little bit. Like final thoughts on where we're at and maybe what you want to see, how we continue this conversation on the initiative side.
I think it just comes with time, and I feel like I always say this, but it just comes with taking a risk and then realizing you're not in trouble, or you didn't actually break anything permanently, or the building didn't burn, whatever. It comes in time, and then once it all clicks, it is so exciting to come in some days and just be like, I get to do this thing, or I get to like. So many times I struggle to even explain my job to my friends because I'm like, it's kind of weird. We kind of do whatever we want, and I do this and I do that, but like I also can do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a mindset that starts to happen of you lose your fear, you gain confidence, and you get to just go dream and do. And I realize this is probably very limited for certain positions, but it is a mindset, and it's fulfillment that begins to happen day to day, no matter what it is you have to do that day personally.
But that mindset, I just keep going back to the janitor. I mean, I honestly think because he is waking up with the mindset of I'm a part of trying to get a man to the moon and back again by the end of the decade safely, I think that makes cleaning every toilet
a little bit better.
feel a little different.
A little more important,
Yeah.
a little more impactful.
Yeah.
I think that's
There's
I'm
pride.
loving this Tony Robbins quote right now. You don't experience life, you experience the life you focus on. And so there's a picture of 2 people walking down a road holding hands, right? And one of them, they're like, oh, the leaves are amazing. I'm so happy to be here right now. What a beautiful day. I love my partner. And the other one's thinking about this problem at work that's going on.
Yep.
They're in the exact same place.
Yep.
but the experience is fundamentally
So
different.
different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Life isn't this fixed thing that you're like moving through. It's largely related to the quality of your emotions and your mindset.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter what position you're in. What you're describing, Abbie, is a mindset where you can see how you're connected to the thing we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And that opens up doors to see spaces that you can take initiative, make it better, build, create, grow, and create remarkable experiences for people.
Yeah.
And I think that it's the same walk, it's the same leaves,
Yeah.
but you can have two fundamentally different experiences in doing what you do from 8 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
True.
And when you do the second, incidentally, you find yourself growing individually, and you find yourself growing in your opportunities in life, because all opportunity lies on the side of value creation.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is, but
it's
yeah.
funny. It's, there's been certain things said today where I'm like, oh, that's back to our core values, no defense budget. I just love how it all ties together. And so I hope our staff listens and they get excited. I'm sure a lot of them are going to listen and be excited and then be like, oh, because our personalities are very... we have very reliable people that follow the rules. Like that is a lot of us have, and we love that. So if you listen and you get excited, I would just challenge our staff to just find one thing to ask somebody, ask why. To me, like, I'm also very like, I like rules and checklists, but the ask why, find something to ask why. Like I think that's a practical takeaway that they can go do. Nothing, they're not going to listen or read this and then know how to do it and all of a sudden all be wonders with amazing ideas. It all takes practice and it takes doing. So find something practical that they hear and try it out.
And we all have different strengths. Some of us are
Yeah.
stabilizers, and what we
Yeah.
bring is staying in the line.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
and it's
So-
amazing.
So don't not be that.
Yeah.
But within that, within various degrees, there's still this capacity.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Anna, how about you?
I was lots of thoughts here. But one thought I wrote this down when we were talking about break the rules. Like, don't be a robot. Like, what makes you who you are is your ability to ask why, to ask questions, to pivot in the middle of a situation. And so I guess that's just a thought that I had that I thought would be good to share. But also, what you say is what you do. And so what I mean is like, if you want to try to take more initiative, practice in your head saying things like, well, what if? So build a scenario on your situation that says, well, what if we actually did take away that step in the process? What would it do? Like, Dylan, I think you used to put, what don't I see on your board?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, write this so that it comes top of mind in your head and you're actually thinking of it more and more often. You'll be surprised how your actions will start to follow suit when you're filling your mind with that stuff and you're thinking that way, giving yourself that reminder to think that way.
Yeah.
Sounds really silly, but also I'm
Well,
reading.
all of these are refrains, right? All the
Yes.
7 and then the 5. I just love that we can internalize those. And
Yeah.
I love, like, what if is the perfect example.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
physically say that out loud.
it.
Or
and
put a
physi-
post-it note on your computer. Like a
Yes.
spot that you look at.
Yeah.
I have 2 things on my computer and I know what they mean to me when I look at them. But I need that reminder.
I'm not going to ask what they are.
A frog and a sparkle.
That means
You can
something
guess.
to you.
That's good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, I was just saying the other thing was we've talked about the book Extreme Ownership.
Yes.
And Vic has been screaming that from the mountaintops. I started listening to it. It is powerful, guys.
You hear that, Travis?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Good job.
Well, that's fun. That's a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And I just think there's tons of work to do.
Yeah.
We're never going to be there. I do think that as a company and a collective, we're probably pretty far ahead on a lot of this.
Yes.
Just because
Yes.
it's a safe space for
Yeah.
people.
And it's
Yeah.
fun when we hire new people into this and they're being like, you guys are weird. So this has been fun
I still say we're
recently.
weird.
Yeah.
I feel like weird has been the word that's come up the most
I love
today.
it. Let's
Weird
be
is a
weird.
good thing. It's a good thing.
Well, appreciate you guys helping us be even weirder. And so, hope you guys enjoy this. There's a handout to go along if you want to internalize those 5. It's there for you. And we'll pick up this conversation in a quarter.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
See you
everyone.
then.